Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be discussing the Marvel Comics trade Venom, Circle of 4, with thanks to NeverAgain41 for sending it my way. Written primarily by Rick Remender, but also featuring Rob Williams and Jeff Parker, respectively, with art by Tony Moore, Lee Garbett, Santa Takeda, Julian Tedesco, Lan Medina, and Nelson DeCastro, with Terry Pallett, Val Staples, Rob Schrager, Domo Sanchez Amara, Marte Gracias, and Antonio Fabella, with letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, Clayton Cowell, Corey Petit, and Chris Iliopoulos. Venom Circle of 4 collects issues 10 through 14, as well as 13.1 to 13.4 in the title's run. And it tells the story of the impromptu teaming up of four unlikely heroes, or anti-heroes depending on your perspective, in the wake of hell's being unleashed upon the earth, most notably centered on Las Vegas at the hands of Blackheart, the demon son of the king of hell, Mephisto. Featuring primarily Flash Thompson, a former war vet that lost his legs, but is later contracted by the government to utilize the Venom symbiote in carrying out covert and top-secret ops, as well as Red Hulk, X-23, and the new host of the Spirit of Vengeance, a woman named Alejandra, also known as Ghost Rider. It all begins with a funeral. Flash Thompson's father is being laid to rest, and as if there isn't enough on his plate as it is, this time of mourning is desecrated by the unexpected appearance of the villain Jack-O-Lantern, who's come calling on Flash, under the threat of his girlfriend's life, to appear in an impromptu meeting with his boss, the Crime Master. Crime Master poses to Flash an offer he can't refuse, which involves the retrieval of a package from a lockdown facility in Las Vegas that can only be attained with the aid of the symbiote, which Flash will have to steal to make it all happen. He reluctantly agrees, as the choice is to do it or watch the people he cares about die, and with the help of a pal on the inside, Flash manages to secure the symbiote, but he doesn't get away soon enough, and a brief conflict between he and Captain America ensues, as Cap has come to shut down the project called Rebirth, under the auspices of which Flash has been working, and secure the symbiote once and for all. As Venom, Flash manages to get a leg up on Cap, and makes off successfully with not only the symbiote, but also Cap's motorcycle. And while Flash is running headlong into the mission set out to him by Crime Master, what's really interesting is he has no idea what it is he's supposed to be after. But he does know, too well, the danger his mother and girlfriend are in, to the point that he calls home just long enough to effectively tell them to get out of his life, as if distancing himself from them will make the threats of supercriminals less impactful upon them. Quite surprisingly is it here that Jack-O-Lantern once again crops up as the would-be handler for the mission at hand, offering up some sick and twisted get-to-know-you time for he and Flash. Jack's witty repartee mixed with his psychologically marred flashbacks really make him stand out herein as an almost Joker-esque presence to play off the straights. It almost made me sorry that his persona doesn't last all the way through the book, but his is a character probably better served in his appearances being reserved, to add poignance and gravitas to whatever murderous points he might be trying to drive home, as if his visage alone, a mangled face with no nose, and a thin layer of scarred flesh stretching taut across it to make his head slightly resemble both a skull and a jack-o'-lantern at the same time, wasn't enough. Their temporary partnership also involves the saving of several miners who were caught in a cave-in, Jack's cruel and cynical view of the world cutting a definitive line between his and Flash's characters, as when it is revealed that one miner is trapped and another refuses to leave his side, all the while the roof is erupting all around them, Jack shoots the trapped man, in effect saving the other. But before any illusions of his heroism are to be considered, at their next pit stop, he slays the innocent mom-and-pop owners of the diner, with his signature carving out their skulls and leaving behind a candle. It's pretty much safe to say that their attaining of the precious cargo wanted by Crime Master goes anything but right, and is, for the purposes of the story, forgotten about as Red Hulk, newly commissioned by Captain America to seek out and bring home Flash and the Venom symbiote together, comes a-calling. Also entering the fray at this point is Blackheart and his would-be gargoyle demon girlfriend or sister, I'm not entirely sure, who dupes Alejandra into Ghost Ridering up, long enough to prevent his unleashing hell upon the earth. I say dupes because rather than preventing it, Ghost Rider inadvertently causes it instead, being lured into a giant centrifugal gate between dimensions, and her driving the motorcycle in the direction that opens rather than closes it. The soul-searching X-23 also arrives on the scene at this point, eager to track down the folks that apparently stole her blood, leading her headlong into the demon's den. The whole of Vegas comes undone to its very core as hell begins pouring out of the gate and consuming it, at which point Venom and Red Hulk cease their bout, agreeing to take it up at a later time, to instead put things right again. As this unlikely foursome comes together to face Blackheart, they're all effectively driven apart again by a black mirror that unleashes the antitheses of whatever peers into it, creating four powerfully demonic, polar opposite beings that threaten to bring each member of the party to their knees, including the robust and psychotic cheerleader X666, the evangelist, a superbrain organism called Encephalophon, and the strangely angelic Icor. Each battle is either one of wits or of brawn, yet the focus of them all is to unnerve each respective hero with a show of their weaknesses, driving home their most deadening personal failures and insecurities. It would be fair to say that the heroes fight admirably all up until each one of them successively dies, and comes to find themselves in hell at the hands of Mephisto. All four of them now faces a new level of torture, the granting of their deepest, most desires or their happiest memories relived, only to have the shock and horror of hell itself unravel them again right before their very eyes. It is here things take an interesting turn that leads to the monumental climax, as Mephisto doesn't care for his son's antics and rather enlists the would-be saviors of the world to unite and best him, under the promise of their lives and bodies being restored, and his open-ended deal that they be ready to act at his behest whenever needed by him at a future time. And without wanting to give away the finer details of the ending, let's just say it all involves Red Hulk being imbued with both the Venom symbiote and the spirit of vengeance at the same time, and a shite ton of badassery. The story also features supporting cast appearances, the likes of which include the aforementioned Captain America, as well as select members of the Avengers, Johnny Blaze, the former Ghost Rider, and Doctor Strange. All throughout this tome, it would be fair to say the writing is above par, from the dramatic weight of personal demons, no pun intended, to the whip-smart banter being thrown back and forth between the characters showcased herein. Many a time did I find myself laughing out loud at a crack passed between Red Hulk and Venom, and the like. Whilst the story proper was a gripping one, twisting and turning and ending each respective chapter with a cliffhanger that made me grateful I only needed to turn the page to pick up with it again. The art, though in places adhering to a different style and look due only to the varied artists working on the title, still retained a level of vibrance and definition so as to make the colors scream out from the page and the action scenes drip with momentum. All in all, I'm going to be rating Venom's Circle of 4 a solid 5 out of 5. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you're able to post what you thought of this volume if you've read it. If not, it comes highly recommended by me. And otherwise, that'll be it for me on this one. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you later. Peace.